Today's chat is brought to you by the support of all our Twitch subscribers. Through the patronage you provide the Focus Fire chat team through the Twitch platform, we are able to provide you with the weekly podcast as well as the website and other aspects of Focus Fire chat. If you have any interest in becoming a subscriber of the FFC and gaining access to some exclusive features over in the Discord server, please be sure to visit our Twitch account and click on the subscribe button. If you're an Amazon Prime member, remember that you do have a free subscription to Twitch every month that can be used for this. And for those of you who are already subscribers, thank you again for your generosity.
You may have heard the whispers of guardians gathering in the shadows, exploring the mysteries of this world and the worlds which surround us. We are all in search of truth. Sometimes we need to focus that search. Focus that fire. And so we come together. Welcome to Focused Fire Chat.
Welcome to Focus Fire Chat, recorded live on June 19th, 2020 over on twitch.tv/FocusFireChat. As always, want to give a big shout out to our live chat here with us tonight. Thank you so much for joining us once again. This week's episodes are going to be a chance for the team to weigh in on their initial thoughts of this new season of the Arrival, or season of Arrivals. Sorry, I keep wanting to put the Arrivals, but it's not. This particular episode will serve as what we have come to call the intro session of the week's explorations. So we will probably be breaking this into the intro session will probably be more focused on mechanics and like our thoughts on the gameplay and stuff, which I know lore podcast mechanics probably not too meshing with what you've come to assume from us. The advanced session will be where we jump into what we have seen so far of the lore, and it's gonna be a good one. Before we go any further, however, let's run through a quick introduction of who we have with us on the show. As always, this is your host, Blue Crew 86,
and this is the infinitely enraged green-eyed music lover. Strap in, boys and girls.
Mama Bear triggered.
Yes. So, as of what was it? A few hours ago. It wasn't even that long ago. There was 2 hours ago. That's all long. Wow. That thing blew up fast.
Yeah, to be fair, it has been going on for a very long time. Obviously.
Correct. But 2 hours ago on Twitter, there was a revelation made about a particular streamer who has been very inappropriate and harassed multiple women. And it started out with one, Jules, and then it snowballed into this huge avalanche of women coming forward saying that Lono or Say No to Rage had done this, done that, done this to me, done that to me. And the amazing thing that the community did, there were some bad stuff. There's a lot of bad stuff on those threads too. Yeah. But amazing thing that the community did, the community rallied around them and helped hold them up and not villainize them. Vilify, there we go, that's the actual word. Not vilify them for saying their story. And it's incredibly important that the community did that. Not only did normal community members, you guys who are listening, people on Twitter that are just always on Twitter, people who are in our live chat, not only did you guys rally around them, but also Bungie rallied around them.
No, it wasn't just Bungie.
Cosmo, DMG, Deej, all three of them rallied behind them. Rare Drop came out, Gathalion came out and said that Rare Drop had basically done everything in their power except, like, they could not legally prevent him from coming to the event, but they basically made it as difficult as possible for him to be considered a content creator. He was revoked content creator privileges and all sorts of things with that. And then the sponsorship that Say No to Rage has.
Two of them have now.
Two? Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't see the second one.
Just the last hour.
I saw the first one.
Just the last hour.
Okay. They have both withdrawn their sponsorships of him, which is a huge thing that it happened so very quickly. And it's a important thing that these women had, in a lot of ways, corroborators within the community who allowed them to hold their story until they were ready to say it. because I can say as a person who has gone through not only sexual harassment, but also, it's not necessarily PG, and I'm sorry for that, Jay, but also going through rape as well. And it's important to be able to come to it in your own time and your own terms. Yes, you can bring up the issues early on and try to protect yourself from whatever or whomever it is. But the ability to process it is incredibly important. So I'm very proud of those community members who allowed them to do that. I know Dr. Lupo was also one of those who had mentioned that he had known about it from the beginning. Goth knew about it from the beginning. I'm very proud of those guys. Now, here's my call to action for you guys. For those of you who are rallying around, awesome. Women too, rallying around. Everyone stays together. But here's the big but. This is only one instance. This is only one time. Not necessarily one time in a series of things. Obviously, it's just say no to rage right now. But this thing happens so very often in the world where women are put into positions, and men too. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong, there are plenty of men who get put into positions, whether or not they are gay men or straight men, get put into positions that they are not comfortable in. Women, men, if you are ever in that position where you see something like that happening, stand up for them then. Do not turn away. Especially if you see a guy just being very creepy and you see a woman or another guy or whoever is getting hit on look uncomfortable, don't let that friend or acquaintance or even stranger do that, because if you can break that initiation, it'll stop it before it turns so much worse. So please don't let this event that happened in the 2-3 hours that it's been end there. Please take that forward. That is my mama bear pleading for you guys to do something about it. Because there's too many people out there who get hurt every day. So many community leaders, myself included, have been raped. It is a thing that happens. It is not a good thing. It is not a happy thing. But it is a thing that happens. And no, I did not ask for it. I was drugged. And I had friends with me. And guess which friends did not stand up for me? That being said, thank you for what you are doing. But do not be complacent. Okay, I am done.
So, season of the arrivals. I don't really have a segue. Like there's no really clever segue out of that. So
no, there's not.
Listeners will forgive me for just letting that be its thing. And I mean, I think for what it's worth, like chat's saying right now, our condolences to everyone, whether or not it's involved in this situation or other situations. It's never acceptable, and it's never, I don't know how to put into words the feeling that it like gives me, because especially people that I am close to, when I find out stuff about this thing, it's very, very tough for me to process it from a bystander's point. I can't even imagine that. So, I think one of the other really cool things is the number of very big creators out there, not just content creators, but like there's been publishers and stuff and whatnot who have come out and basically said, hey, look, if something's happening and we're at an event and, we're at a bar, I can't remember who it was. It was one of the comic book artist from I think it was DC, but he basically said, look, here's my open invitation. If someone is making you uncomfortable and you see me, just come up and say, and he gave like I think it was like swordfish or something. Like he basically gave out a code word, and he's like, just say this, and I will immediately be like, oh yeah, just sit down with me and we'll have a conversation. Like I will rudely butt into anything to make sure that this doesn't happen. And that's the thing is like, I what you were saying about breaking the initiation cycle. I think that's a huge component. Mm-hmm.
It really is, because a lot of times these things start in a social setting. Mm-hmm. it doesn't start in a hotel room. That's not where it starts. It starts in a social setting. And there are almost always people around. So when you see somebody in an uncomfortable position, or if you are yourself in an uncomfortable position, figure out a buddy essentially there, or have somebody that you can trust there with you. I do not drink in excess anymore in public. I do not drink hardly at all anymore because of my whole ordeal myself. So there are steps that you can personally do, and it will change your life. But having people out there, if you're at a convention, there are multiple people out there who have your back. I know that Issaquah has offered herself as a way to interact or intervene if she needs to, if you DM her. Like, that's really hard to do in a convention setting because of the amount of people there. But have somebody there who can be that person for you to help break that cycle and get you out of there. Because if you're uncomfortable, you do not owe that person who is talking to you and making you feel uncomfortable anything. You do not owe them politeness. You do not owe them the time of day if they are making you uncomfortable. You can tell them to write off.
Yeah. And I think the thing a lot of times when, like, from my experience, not having gone through that particular thing, but seeing like uncomfortable, I hate social situations. So for what it's worth, if you catch me in a social situation and you need me to step in, I'm more than happy to use that as an excuse to get out of the social situation, because I don't like social situations. But I think a lot of times what you just said there that strikes for my purpose is that people are so focused on making sure that they don't come across offensive. It's like, guys, follow your gut instinct. If you feel uncomfortable around somebody, you're not feeling that for no reason, like, except for me, because I don't feel comfortable around anybody, but I'm okay with that. But like, if you're in a social situation, if you're in a social situation and you feel like you need to get out. Like that's, I know it sounds stupid, but that's what basically it boils down to, is like, follow your gut. Even if, I mean, it's okay to be rude to people if your gut is telling you to get out of there. I don't know how, if you need my permission, that's it, for what it's worth.
Yeah. I think Blue and I both would agree that if you run into us in a convention and you need help in a situation, either one of us,
no questions asked,
would be able to help. Granted, that means you have to know what we look like and not just listen to our voice. So
though
follow us on Twitter.
We have been found out by our voices before. That was an interesting. That is an interesting experience.
That was. Anyway, let's go ahead and move beyond this a little bit and talk about a different.
Yes, let's talk about something.
Hot topic.
Let's talk about something much more fun and much more amazing. Is this season? I believe Chat has deemed it the season of Blue enjoying Destiny, which is accurate.
Yes. Yeah.
It's only taken 11.
Blue. So far, what season level are you on? What season level are you on at the moment?
23.
Okay, so I am at season level 35, but I had saved up bounties.
I was about to say, you preloaded bounties, right?
Mm-hmm. So you have played about as much Destiny as I have, if not more, this season, and that's saying something.
Listen,
because I play a lot.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie. Part of the reason is, given the environment of the world. I have been, with my job, I've been super lucky and super blessed to still have a job, but because of the nature of what I do is more programmatic. Like, I basically create and design programs for a financial company, and so what we do is we basically code all day. We're not really required to be at any particular physical location. And so when this whole thing went down, it was basically, we were in the office, and literally our manager came out and said, okay, pack up, you're going home. And we were kind of like, wait, are you still, like, we had been joking about it. So we were kind of like, are you serious? Like, what's going on? And she was like, nope, you going home. We will contact you when we find out, when you can expect to be back. And that was at the start of March. So I have been working from home 100% since then. And our entire team has, actually. And so what that means is that all the time that I have been, driving to and from the office and everything like that, it's really been dedicated to either working or, just I have a lot more free time. Not to say that it's like super free, but it's also really easy if we're like on conference calls that we're just sitting there, talking about stuff. If we get on and, pick up bounties or, get on and do like minor things, like a lot of stuff that normally would take, 20 minutes, 30 minutes throughout the night, you can do during the day and be done. So that has eliminated and presented an opportunity of putting a very efficient process for me to get stuff. That being said, I'm not going to lie, when Green messaged me and she was like, so you getting the season title? I was like, I never get season titles, so I don't care about them. She's like, look at what it is. It's freaking Forerunner. Like, I'm like, I don't even have, like, I think the first thing I did was I messaged Pins and I was like, Pins, you getting this? I'm like, God bless it. Now I got to figure out what all this stuff is. And I think by the time I got done figuring out what was required, I was like, I've invested freaking 6 hours figuring out what in the hell I'm supposed to do to get it. It felt like, at this point I might as well just chase it. And, I will be honest, I have set aside specific benchmarks to try to get it. And if it works, that's awesome. If it doesn't work, because we have things, coming up, then it won't work. But I think that I think the other thing that has come into is that it's finally gotten to the point where my playstyle has aligned with the way Destiny, or the way Bungie wants you to play Destiny. So, which it's really funny, because when I look at all the complaints out there, it's like, well, it's like they're saying this is how we want you to play. I'm like, yeah, that's what I've been saying for I don't know how long at this point. It's like, I mean, it's the downside of a game. Look, it's a system, it's a closed system. You have to have certain things, and that's just the way it is. And I mean, like, last season was not in my opinion, was not the best. It was better than the season before from my perspective, because I didn't appreciate the requirements. I think that the choices that they've made for like the public event is pretty interesting. The other thing is like it doesn't take forever, because they put a forced timer on it. Like, and so that to me makes it where I was telling Green before, it's interesting to me, because like you don't have like mediocre teams that join on public event. You either have a team that knows like what they're doing and they get their, I mean, it's locked down, and like, I try to play. Once I find a group like that, I try to just like puppy dog around with them, because it's like, you guys want to do more? Like, or you have teams who are like, what's a public event? I'm like, just go stand over there. Which I think is not unique to this season though. But I don't know. Like, I've had a lot more fun. It feels like it's a much more open to being able to choose. I will be honest, the simplicity of I can never remember what it is, but the ramshackle decoder, which I love.
Umbral decoder?
That one. It's the ramshackle cryptarch.
Why did you call it the ramshackle?
Because when I first saw it, I was like, oh, that's funny. That's the person who tells us all the information about Destiny. And then it was like, no, that's not. Oh, I don't know. My brain associates very odd things.
I hope she hears this.
I think she made the joke too. I think she even made the point.
She probably did.
I'm like,
she probably did.
It's just, I don't know. Like, and the thing is like with the Drifter, I've never been like super interested in, like, I've been interested in his story, but I've never like felt like, oh yeah, Gambit, blah blah blah. And it's like, which most people know. I think there's a running gag somewhere on the Twitterverse about how the new public event is forcing me to play Gambit. You know, I think that like the way that they have brought a lot of the loose ends together to form the reasoning behind this season has been really well done. I think it's Julie Naren is the one that is the lead. The narrative has, which we'll talk about, you know, next episode.
Next season. We'll talk about
next season. Yeah, whenever I get a chance to finally digest the copious amounts of. I tweeted it, or I was messaging Guy, and I was like, "Man, this new lore is great." And I turned around, and you were like, "Hey, look, there's web lore," and I was like, "Guy, you're killing me!" Like, you have to give me some time for my brain to process this stuff before you kill me with that more stuff.
There's so much going on this season with that. And that's not even, like, the web lore ties into next season, too.
Yes. Yeah.
But as far as, like, the mechanics of things that have changed, right? So we have the Umbral decoder, which you mentioned, the Ramshackle decoder. Mm-hmm. That's fun. I love the voice lines. Oh my god! Did you see Elliot? Elliot's like 3 hours. Like no.
I told my wife about that. She's like, "Why?" I'm like, "Why not?" And she's just like, "I can't. Just go away."
You know why? You want to know why? Tell Anna this. Bongo cat. That's why. Because people are sadists. Oh my lord. No, I love the lines on it because it very much so has that kind of claptrap Borderlands feel to it.
It's like Raoul, except just nice.
But better. There's some lines that, like, I tweeted out a photo the other day because my hair being so long, a Drifter themed photo, and I looked up the new voice lines. I'm like, none of these sound safe. Like, every single one of them was not suitable for work.
Was that why you
except for
messaged
the
me all of them?
one.
You're like, all of these out of context are bad.
Yes. Drifter is a dirty old man. Umbral Decoder has some of the best lines for that, by the way. If you need pickup lines, Drifter's got you covered. But, yeah, no, that's really cool. I do love the ability to focus your engrams. I think that's actually what that other thing, or Prismatic Recaster.
Yeah, Prismatic Recaster, that's the one.
So that is brilliant because it takes the menagerie style building of what you want.
Yeah.
Simplifies it and is just like, hey, do you want a intellect focused umbral engram? It has these things inside of it. You get a chance for either an arm, a chest piece, a head piece, or feet.
Well, because I was reading, you can focus it down pretty far, can't you?
Oh yeah, some of them will focus it to give you
kind of buggy
two
right
options.
Now, but
yeah. So edge focus umbral engram is either the bow for this season or the sword.
Oh god, the bow.
I love the bow. It is.
It's a
hideous
longboard.
Looking, but it's fun to use.
If you get in trouble on Titan, you can surf your way out.
You know, honestly, I think that Link could use it in Breath of the Wild as a surfboard. Because it is big enough. Let me tell you.
I was right around with it on the tower, and I'm like, oh my god. This thing is...
You'll knock somebody out with it. Uh-huh. It's as tall as Wishender, but way...
Yeah, you can't... I couldn't even see my hunter with it when he was running around with it. It was like...
It's airplane wings.
Yeah. Oh my god. And it's fun to shoot. It's like...
Yes.
I don't know. Like, I know they tweak Sandbox all the time. So, like, but I usually, you know me, I don't pay attention to most of it. But, like, to me, and I was talking to you a little bit about this, like, there's been, I know this is kind of a contentious subject, but the weapons having a cap means that, like, they've been recycling a couple of the weapons into this season. Like, but, like, I got a Night Watch, just like the scout rifles as a whole actually have been really much more fun to use. That and hand cannons are I'm actually using hand cannons, which is beyond my understanding of what's happening.
Just wait till you get into sidearms.
No, I don't. I mean, I will try. I'll try them again. I should try
one.
I should try them.
Here's
each
one for
season.
you.
Because
here's one that you should try. You ready? It feels like a hand cannon. Here's the one you should try. Enigma's Draw.
Enigma's Draw. Okay, I'll try. I'll try to find one. I'll be honest.
One,
I see sidearms that I immediately dismantle them.
A lot of people do. That one actually feels like a pocket. It's a future war cult weapon, by the way. It feels like a pocket last word. It's a little bit less distance, obviously, than the last word, but it hits hard.
Well, they added.
It's a nice little.
They added a couple new sidearms, right? This season, or are they all? Like I said, I don't.
There was one last season. I don't remember if there's one this season. I can look real quick. I see auto rifle fusion, combat bow, sword, pulse rifle, and sword. So no.
Okay.
Not seasonal weapons. It may be just a rehash of it, but
freaking dark drinker.
Which one? Guillotine?
Dark drinker?
Yeah.
Man.
I think that's called guillotine.
It's no, I thought the guillotine was the surfboard sword.
There's one that is
Temptation's
basically
Hook. That's what it was.
Yeah, so there's one that's essentially the arc sword from D1 that shoots the bolts, the arc bolts.
Oh,
I cannot remember the name of it.
I have
and
the
then
one.
Dark Drinker is the other one.
Yeah, that's the one I have. Is Temptation's Edge? I think is the arc bolt one. Like it'll throw disc. It'll throw a disc out. It's fun.
Bolt caster. Thank you, Killhorn.
Yeah. All I know is I was using it, and I like I said, I don't pay attention to perks, which is my own thing. I'm not super. I find guns that I like, and I just kind of stick with them, which is going to be annoying because that means I'm going to have to find new guns because they're going to sunset them, which is fine. I'm not like, I know that sounds like I'm moaning about it, but it's actually.
Can I give you my 2
me.
cents on that?
It's good for me. It forces me to do something. What's up?
Here's my 2 cents on that. So the Night Watch, the one that you just got that you absolutely loved, that was your baby back in year 1.
No, that was Midnight. My
Midnight, Nameless
Midnight. I still have that gun, by the way.
Yeah.
I have been slaving away getting that thing updated. That thing's a tank, is what that thing is.
I mean, right. And there's some weapons that are just super, super easy to use. Like, you'll be able to continually use Nameless Midnight. They're not getting rid of your gun, your baby. What they're doing is you can't use it in in-game is the only...
It's just the in-game
in-game content. Yeah. Right. So you may... Like, I have to find a new replacement for my Dust Rock, because that one's going to go away.
Okay, so I meant to send you this, but I'm curious on your thoughts. They have been doubling down a lot on, like, Dust Rock aesthetics. Have you? Am I the only one who's noticed that? Like, I haven't seen a lot of people talking about that, but there has been, like, 2 ornaments now for Dust Rock recently.
Has there? I didn't even notice. It's a super popular gun. It's one of the most popular shotguns in PvP.
Okay, maybe it's just because it's so popular. But I was trying to figure out. I'm like, why is it such a? I don't know. I don't use shotguns, so that's the other thing.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good thing in the long run because it is going to change up some play styles. Even after Dust Rock kind of got nerfed a bit.
Sorry,
I did not really play.
We just finished a heroic event in like 10 seconds. Oh,
nice.
We have 4 Titans. That's why.
You got super confused.
I was really confused. I was like, he just got summoned. Why is he already dead?
Were they all running Sentinel?
I think I know at least 2 of them were, because I see 2 bubbles right now.
Oh, Weapons of Light. Yeah.
Sorry,
I had somebody
like
confused
I was saying,
the snot out of me earlier with
you
that.
either get a team that just melts things, or you get a team that's like, what's a boss?
Right? Well, some people, I don't know, some of the supers are more ad control. Some of the supers are better for solo boss. And Titans have some of the best boss supers you can get, even with the bubble, because you get Weapons of Light, which buffs everything. I don't know. This season, as far as the mechanics of how the season works, I do like the recaster level up system. Mm-hmm. I do think it's smart. Smart that you can basically, if you wanted to, I think you could still technically do it. Delete a character, start a new character, do the weeklies, upgrade it, delete the character.
You don't even have to delete the character.
You can. No?
No. I've been running all 3 of my characters because your weekly is character based. It's not account based.
Right. Oh yeah, but that's what I've been doing. There's somebody who's completely finished the upgrade because he was deleting the character over and over.
I don't. That's way too much investment.
Right.
Like I figured out because basically I figured out the experience that's needed for it, and I was like, oh, if you run all 3 characters, that's guaranteed 3,000. What is it? Twisted materials or whatever, and no.
And you get some in the season pass too, every once in a while.
And this is the thing I was telling Pins the other night. Was the other thing is I think it's the Umbral Mastery 1 gives you kickback to Twisted Energy every time you decrypt things. So like I actually just got a rank just from decryption just recently. That's how I finished the second row. Was I should still have 1 left, but because I had that was the first thing I bought. So basically everything that I've been decrypting since then has been kicked back into that. And especially now they have it where it's automatically applying it, which is really funny because you'll do something and it's like, go pick up your Engram. I was like, what did I do? I don't know. Okay. Yeah. I go pick up my Engram. But yeah, like I figured it out and I was like, oh, it's going to be 3 weeks basically. I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. If you do all 3 characters, it should take about 3, maybe a little bit longer weeks to finish it. And you don't even have to do the weeklies on all the other stuff. I am literally only doing weekly, what are they called? The bounties specifically for the recaster. Purge Darkness.
Well, those are the only
weekly
ones,
bounties for that.
Yeah, those are the only ones that will give you Twisted Energy. The other ones give you...
But if you're doing other bounties, like Crucible and stuff like that, you'll get the higher level gear too. You'll get a gear drop.
Yeah.
But it won't necessarily be for that leveling. It won't take long to finish it if you're doing it legitimately. That kind of irked me a little bit when I saw that, which kicked off the whole debate, if you remember last week, of AFK farming.
So yeah, I guess I am curious what your opinion of that was.
If you are AFK farming and you're doing it in a way that is not going to interfere with somebody who's legitimately trying to play the game, I don't care. I do think that you are a big baby later in the season when you start complaining that there's not enough to do, because you wasted your $10 for the season essentially by putting your controller on a rubber band and running the forge over and over and over, because you're basically taking out all that experience that you would have gotten from doing all the different weeklies and bounties on other things to level up. You took it out in an AFK farm because you wanted to get there fast. That is my only beef. So if you are an AFK farmer and you're somebody who's just a dedicated player who doesn't care about like just rehashing the same content till the end of the season and you're just going to do it that way, good on you. I don't care. I AFK'd farm 4 times during the forge. Like I only ran 4 forges just to see how it worked. Partially, and also I wanted to get a few engrams, but it was really boring and I felt like I was cheating, so I was like, whatever, don't want to do it anymore. But I'm glad Bungie patched it. There are other ways to get Umbral engrams super fast out there. Blue found one the other day. But if you aren't hurting somebody's gameplay and you're not going to be a big baby at the end of the season, do what you want. I don't care.
Yeah, my only like opinion on it was when I figured out that it transcends into also leveling up other things. I was like, okay, I can see why this can be perceived as
cheating,
as unfair to other players. I know a lot of people are like, oh, Bungie, but it's like, okay, but you have to understand that like it's not just getting engrams. And this is more to people who are complaining. It's also you're bypassing the leveling system, because like what I was just saying, if you got the perk on the Umbral Mastery, every engram that you're getting is also leveling up your recaster. And so it's not just that you're getting more loot. It's you're actually bypassing the leveling system of one of the main components of the season. And I was like, as soon as I connected those dots, I was like, oh, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, I get why they kind of weighed in a little bit quicker. Ooh, someone just tethered. Why they weighed in a little bit quicker on it, because I was like, yeah, okay, that makes more sense. And I can see, like, having then figured that out, then looking at that, I was like, it kind of does. It's kind of annoying and makes me, like, roll my eyes a little bit. Because, I mean, like, I don't. To me, it's also, that's way too much forethought for a video game. Like, I'm gonna enjoy the game, and I'll just enjoy the game, whatever. Which is why I've kept playing it for as long as I have. You know, it's. But I totally do. Again, after I figured out that logic, I was like, I gotcha. I'm on the same page.
Yeah. You know what, though? There are some really good ways to still get Umbral engrams. God. I know strikes are a pretty decent way to do it. You can just run through the strikes. Nightmare hunts are the really popular one right
hunts,
now.
Man, you can, like, I think the longest nightmare hunt I was getting at least one per nightmare hunt the other day. It's kind of dropped since then. I don't know if that was RNG or what, but like I got nightmare hunts the one time. Escalation Protocol, once you hit rank 5 on EP, you're drowning in umbrals. Like it's ridiculous, because basically it felt like every major yellow bar you kill in Escalation after, I think it was after level 5, there were engram. It was like, I was running out of space to carry them. It was so bad. Mm-hmm. Which I know it's like, this is like the epitome of a Destiny first world problem.
Right?
I'm like,
it's one of those things. They replaced the 2 blues and whatever, that whole meme with umbrals, and it's like the community is like, what?
I don't know. Like I mean, and I get it. Like I mean, and that's not to say that there aren't like hiccups that are going on. Like I totally, I've made my own complaints about some of the bugs, mostly because I am now like very, very closely tracking the triumphs that I've gotten because I'm going after this title. I'm like, it's bugged. It won't give me credit. It's like the level, and then the one that's currently I'm kind of nervous about is the heavy hitter one, because like that was the whole thing. It does seem like that one is slightly time gated because it's per week, as far as the heroic event boss. And the problem,
well, it'll cycle through again,
right? But I mean, it's just it basically adds an additional week to the content or the requirement. And you know, again, I can see that being a point of contention with people. I mean, it is what it is. As far as like the actual event, though, I'm having a blast with it. Like it's been really fun. It's really refreshing. Like I said, the time limit helps make it a lot more enjoyable. And so,
oh yeah. I'm just enjoying watching you use Mobius Quiver.
I think that was like 6 or 7 shots.
Yeah, welcome to Bottom Tree. It's actually a boss melter.
Oh my god.
Blue has not used Mobius Quiver since they buffed it, guys.
I haven't used Mobius Quiver since like Taken King, to be honest. I used Mobius Quiver then, but then as soon as Orpheus Rig came out with Destiny 2, I was like, wait, what? And then they kind of nerfed them back in a while, but I like Orpheus Rigs, and it really boosts Top Tree. Oh my god.
You know what I actually enjoy about this event more than anything? You do not have to throw any balls.
You just have to carry one.
There's no, you just, well, yeah, and that's blue, fine. Like, yeah. I don't mind carrying something to dunk into a particular location, but there's not going to be a moment where I throw the thing and hit some titan in the back of the head because he decided to jump
randomly.
Like, how many times did that happen during last season? Like, it's just...
I think my problem...
I think it's a smarter event.
My problem with last season was, I think they overstepped the complexity of it. Because, like, to be fair, I never completed one of the second round things because
when they changed it.
Because and part of that is my fault. I play solo. That's I've said before, I completely understand that's not the intended process. But, like, I think that's what makes this event so much more fun for me, is because you can go in it as a solo queuer, and it really doesn't detract from it. It actually, sometimes you have to sometimes it's a little frustrating, but for the most part, it's like, it's not as dependent on, like, if your group messes up like once or twice, it's not like, oh, well, wipe and do it again. It's, okay, well, if you have like one or two people who are really good, they can carry... they can legit, like, they won't be able to do it by themselves necessarily. I'm not saying that's not soloable, but, like, if you have one or two higher than average players, they can redeem the group. Whereas with the Seraph Towers, it felt like unless everyone was perfect, it just wasn't going to get past, like, that second phase. And I tried like 3 or 4 times, and I was just like, I got defeated by the event itself. Like, the mechanics was just like, I'm like, I don't have... There are more productive uses of my time in game than trying to chance into a group of perfect players for this. Sure.
The thing that I like about this one is that the difficulty comes in not because of how many ads there are, but because you have to have the unstoppable mod. You have to have somebody with an overload mod. You have to have somebody with the anti-barrier mods. And it's highly encouraged to have more than just one person with one of each. It makes the event go much, much smoother that way. You can do it without it, but it makes it super challenging then. And it just encourages you to use the mechanics that Bungie is really starting to teach. And that was one of the things that I think I was really... not necessarily harping on you, but like trying to teach you, is that the mods for the seasons are there to help make the season events go much faster. And this season's mods are no different. There are a ton of different things that are going to help that you can get from the recaster or...
Correct. Though I will step in on that, because that is a point of confusion that I have seen a lot of people being made. The seasonal mods that are being tracked by the Triumph are not the seasonal mods from the Artifact. They are the seasonal mods, which are also called seasonal mods, but they are the seasonal mods from the Recaster, which I have not used any of the seasonal mods from the Recaster just yet, but because I like the Artifact mods, because, like you were saying, they have like the shield break and the overflow and I can't overload and then I can't
anti-barrier.
Those are really fun for me. I like because they actually, like, when you, oh my gosh, I will be honest, when you have like the shield break and someone like one of the things pops and it like disorients it. That is I love that sense of like,
it's a good
that's
feeling.
Right, I gotcha. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
That's right. I stunned you.
I got him.
Yeah.
Like I love that. But I do. That was part of my confusion, was because like I was unlocking them with the like I just did that. I was unlocking them on the Artifact, and it wasn't tracking on the Triumph thing. And at first I was like, okay, is this another bug thing? And then I realized, no, it's not those seasonal mods. It's these seasonal mods. And I was like, I did have a bit of an eye roll at that point.
Right. Which that is one thing I think they could do with explanation a bit better, because this was one of the things that drove me crazy during Guardian games, is that bounties were not clear. Same thing's happening with the Triumphs. Some of the Triumphs are a little unclear because not everything has a unique name in the game anymore. We have seasonal mods that are based around... Last season, it was all the mods that you got from Rasputin.
Right.
This season, it's from the Recaster.
which
you
is
also
fine,
have artifact
but
mods.
then you need to like be like, you know,
right?
Because I think
call it out a bit more.
Yeah, because doesn't Banshee have his own seasonal mods too?
Banshee does have rotating mods. I don't know if they're considered seasonal
okay.
though. But the other thing that drives me crazy is that could you imagine right now being New Light and coming into this?
My brother
more
is
complicated.
My brother's going to be joining again. He's like, all right, I'm going to try. He's like his biggest complaint was the load times, which I mean they've kind of gotten better. Depends.
They're better on PlayStation and PC.
Yeah, they're not as bad as they were on Xbox either. It's just it depends on what you're running into. Like, you know, I know they switched to skill based matchmaking. I know that was a contention the other day. I'm like, I don't know. No.
They switched from skill based matchmaking into connection based matchmaking.
Sorry, yes. I know people were like, "Ow, I just got smushed." I know people were kind of whatever about that. So like I haven't played too much Crucible this season. So I can't weigh in on the connection times. I know that was kind of a point of pain for last season was the joke was not unfounded that you could queue into a match and I would literally be able to go do something else in the house and walk back and still have time to like be here. And it was a little ridiculous.
It still has a little bit of that, but there is some. Bungie does build in time, so that is one thing that that everyone should remember, that they do build in a cooldown time, because just like with revive times, there's actually a philosophy behind that to help the player reset, so they are not continually raging when they spawn in, like Mayhem tends to be.
See, I love Mayhem, but
you are one of the few.
I'm also a big fan of
You're
Super
also
Fiesta,
a hunter,
so I also love Super Fiesta. So I recognize.
You're also a hunter. You recognize the pain that other people go through. No. I enjoy PvP. The load times don't bother me so much. It was the beaver thing that was happening anytime I loaded in on PC, I get beavered. I played PC with Man at Arms a few times on stream, and there were a few games where I would load into the same match with them 4 times because I got kicked 4 times from the match.
Oh wow.
So I'm glad they're finally adjusting that. I haven't heard anybody's reports on how that's gone. I know that they did a hot fix on that with this last week, but
okay, so it was actually really recent.
Yeah, not Cosmo, DMG was talking about it the other day. What do you feel about the missions? I know we're not going to go into the story, but how do you feel about the rotating mission? Feels a lot like Shadowkeep to me.
Yeah, I mean, I've never had a problem with rotating missions. You know, I think that the interference mission, I like what they're doing with it. Again, with the, I will be honest, like it wasn't a negative surprise, but it was a surprise nonetheless, because like I said, I've been kind of trying to keep track of the triumphs this time around. And I know, like, they were like, all right, you have to complete I think it was Relic. You have to complete the Relic run of interference. And so I knew it was a weekly rotation, so I went ahead and I ran through it. But I took my time because I was like, okay, there's a mechanic that I have to be sure to get through. And lo and behold, it was the entire mission. Like, you basically, if you finish the mission, you finish the mechanic. Not knowing that going in made it kind of like, I don't know. Like I said, it wasn't a negative thing. It was just like more of like at the end, because I was like, okay, I finished the mission. Did I get the point? Like, because I know on top of that, with all the bugs that we've been having with triumphs, I was like, gosh, man, if I don't get this one as well, that's gonna be annoying. But I mean, I think other than that, which is, you know, kind of what you were saying earlier, I think it's just a matter of clarifying what we're looking for, which I think it's never going to be a bad thing to say.
I can say, as far as a counterpoint I can see for it, is that by not making it super clear. Now, this is a terrible counterpoint. I'm just going to make it anyway. Is it gives content creators something to teach. Because content creators, they do need something to teach in order to have content, and gives them a chance to create something that is useful for the community. That is the only thing that I can see that makes it also, that some of the things are not as clear.
I would say the other thing is it also kind of forces you to take your time through the event. Like,
read the things that they put there.
Yeah.
Because how many people skip past those walls? I don't know. Have you looked at the dungeon at all?
I have not. I asked a question. So here's the thing. I asked. So again, I'm trying to stick with mechanics. From a lore perspective, yes, I have looked at the dungeon. I'm very fascinated by it. Also with some of the new theories that have come out with the recent days and all that. So, but from a mechanic standpoint, no, I have not looked at it just yet. I've been focusing on the stuff that I can reasonably complete. And so when I first looked at it, I was like, okay, what level do I need to be to even, kind of contemplate going into it? I think it was you and Orchid were like, oh, well, you should be at least like 1030 or 1040. I was like, okay, so until I get to 1030, I'm at 1028 right now. Until I get to 1030, I'm like, all right, I'm not getting, like, I'm already trying to get other stuff out of the way. So basically, as soon as I hit that mark, then I'm going to start looking at, okay, what do I need to do to get through the dungeon? Because this will be the first in-game thing that I've run through since before Rise of Iron.
The dungeon?
Yep.
This dungeon? You never did Shattered Throne?
Oh, I got... Potato took me through Shattered Throne, I guess, technically.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't consider that a raid run, because we basically got carried through. It was like, Jay, go here. Pins, go there. Watch out for that jump, Pins. Wait 5 minutes. Okay, we made it.
I mean, watch out for that jump, Pins. I mean, poor guy. Yeah. It is, that one is a jumping puzzle nightmare.
We had to leave and come back in. It was so, oh my gosh, that was a rough one. But I mean, like, actually running a raid or actually running an in-game like thing, I haven't done that. I haven't had the interest to do it since well before Rise of Iron. I mean, I never even ran Wrath of the Machine, to be completely honest.
Sure.
I read about it and I knew a
lot of people didn't run,
but from a mechanic standpoint, like it was, Rise of Iron was a rough patch for me with regards to mechanics in Destiny. And so and then like when Destiny 2 dropped, it was just kind of like like I got through it, and I got through the campaign, and then I did I never did any of the raids other than Shattered Throne. And like I said, I've done that once.
And that's still just a dungeon. That's still just a 3-man.
Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, Shattered Throne. Yeah, sorry. No, I'm talking, what's the raid?
But it's Last Wish?
Yes, that one. Shattered Throne, okay, I guess technically Shattered Throne would be a dungeon. See, I don't even consider that really whatever. Okay. Because by the time...
So the reason why it's a dungeon is it's a 3-man event versus a 6-man event.
Got it. Okay.
So I've gone into the dungeon. I love the light dark mechanic. So what happens in the first room, since Blue, you really haven't gone and looked at it, is you are in this, looks kind of like a sewer tunnel, like a really nice sewer tunnel. It's clean and everything. But there are different tunnels, little pathways that... Yeah, it's real clean. It doesn't smell bad. It's great. It's true. It even has like opening, like, what are they called? Not the sewer grates, like the things that the Ninja Turtles go down.
The runoff?
No. Well, I mean, that's there too.
Oh,
but
no,
like,
you're talking about the manhole covers.
The manhole covers. There we go. It has giant manhole covers that you have to open up. And the way you open them up is by putting out both the light table
the 9
and
does not
the
appreciate
dark
your sarcasm.
table. It's fine. The So in order to, you had to collect motes of light and motes of dark to put out the little tables. In order to get motes of light, you have to stand in the light and kill the knights.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
In order to get the dark motes, you have to stand in the shadowed areas and kill the knights. If you accidentally stand in one that you're not supposed to stand in, you will not get the correct kinds of motes. The other thing is if you have one kind of mote and you pick up a different kind of mote, it'll change your motes into the other one.
Oh, so it's like a Destiny version of Othello or Othello or whatever that game is.
Yeah, basically. So that's interesting. It's fun. You can go in theoretically right now I did it at 1020 solo for a little while just to see if I could. And I could open up the first 2 rooms pretty easily that way. It is a lot of maneuvering because there are taken thrall that will wreck your day. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, it's actually a pretty simple mechanic to build in. And then, of course, part 2 is crazy, and then part 3 is even crazier. I have not actually done part 3 yet. I've seen part 2. I've not figured out a strategy yet because I really haven't gotten into it with anybody else. But I like the concept that you have to utilize both light and dark in it. And I think that's really cool.
Well, and I think that's the theme, obviously, that they're building towards from I don't know if that's a good place to kind of start wrapping up. I don't know how long we've been talking. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think that's where a lot of the storytelling is also pointing, is using both sides. I know that's an interesting direction, I will say. Not necessarily a surprising direction, but an interesting one.
Yep. I agree. I like the mechanic changes they've changed so far. I know that Trials is still going to be a contentious thing. Well, and I saw some people complaining about that today.
Right? You're now required to do what was it? You're required to do quite a bit to even get in.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, you had to do the same stuff to get into a raid. So to me, I guess I wasn't super surprised because it's
the reason why they're doing it.
Oh no, I understand why they're doing it, but I guess my response to that is it's an in-game material. Of course, you have to jump through hoops. That's the definition. In my world, that is the definition of in-game material. I have to jump through hoops to get it.
Yeah, and I think it's fair that they changed it in that way, so you're not getting people who are completely cheating the system to get multiple drops that way. But I do find some of the things with the Trials changeover to be a little heavy-handed, but I'm glad that it should help cut down on the cheating that was going on rampantly, especially on the PC side. And I really am glad that it will cut down on the first 3 level farming that was happening, making it flippin' impossible for anybody to actually do well. Anyway, that is the last that I wanted to talk about for the mechanic side of the episode. So if we'd like to flip over to side B.
Flip over to side B. Style. Well, do you want to do shout-outs real quick for intro? I can imagine I know your shout-out. But if you want to...
Do you know my shout-out?
I don't know. No. I like to say that I do, but I don't. It's a mystery.
It's somebody's birthday today.
It's not my birthday today.
And by the time this... no, it's not your birthday today. By the time this comes out, it's going to be way past her birthday, but she might actually hear it. She might not. I know somebody's on here.
Are you going to get in trouble for saying this person's birthday? Because I saw.
She's scary. She's scary anyway. So Raz's birthday is today. Raz, a good friend of mine, my fire teammate.
Don't kill me.
She's turning... Here's where she's going to kill me. She's turning 37 today. And I'm in trouble. But...
I'm dead.
Yeah, shout out to that, and shout out to Bungie for being so quick on the draw for creating a Black Lives Matter charity pin.
And it looks amazing. Like
it does look really good.
It looks so good.
It looks really, really good. That one goes on sale on Tuesday.
Yeah, which
would be the 23rd.
Yep, and I'm going to be in a car, so I'm going to probably be bugging somebody to try to get me one because I really like that. I really like the design on it. And not to mention what it stands for, but like it's just there's like so many good things about that particular thing that they did. Also, really, I mean, yes. I transitioned into my shout-outs, I guess. Really big shout-out to Bungie, and I think it was Advanced Gamer? Like, I don't even know what it is. Advanced GG for their quick reaction on the thing that we were talking about at the beginning of the episode. Yep. That has, like, I can't tell you, like, how much respect it gives when you see, and the CEO of Advanced GG was the one who weighed in on it. Like it was pretty impressive watching that. And I think, oh God, what was the other sponsor that weighed in with the whole situation? I just blanked it. Player One Coffee, I think, is the one. But like those and Bungie, like I don't know. Like whenever a company like that sees something that has been done that they have, taken a problem with, or they have an issue with, and they actually stand and they put their money where their mouth is. Because to be honest, to be blunt, that is what sponsorships are, is they're putting their money where their mouth is. That makes me actually want to do business with them. And I loved when I was watching this whole thing, there were so many opportunities for Twitter and for the Destiny community as a whole to devolve into just like a cesspool of shouting matches. And really, honestly, there were a few. I mean, it's Twitter, so I'm not really surprised there. But it was more so, it was just unquestionable, support and comforting those who were coming out and speaking about their experiences. And that's really, I mean, a huge shout out to this community again for showing. Not only is this also during the time that we're, giving money to St. Jude, because holy hell I mean, we aren't having Guardian Con, the convention, this year, and they're still going to be doing a very good job for St. Jude.
Yes. Also, we get a toaster.
Yeah, I need to go back and watch the archive because apparently I missed a really, really entertaining stream. I was actually in the middle of programming stuff.
So Bungie had to raise $777,777.77 in their stream. They did it in 10 minutes.
Yeah, I saw that tweet and I was blown away. Like, it was... Yeah. I think DMG and Cosmo are getting matching tattoos, I think is the other thing that's happening.
Which is hilarious, because I don't think Cosmo has many tattoos. I know DMG does. DMG did a tattoo a couple years ago.
Was it the bread one?
But, yeah. It's great. They're going to be doing a Destiny toaster for the Bungie store, which there have been plenty of submissions for what this should look like.
I can only imagine.
Yeah. It's great. Now, as far as like a charity type call out, Bungie has done a really good job of that. And the community in general, like there's another stream that's actually in the making right now for a raising money for Black Lives Matter.
Nice.
That's happening. They're getting ready to start streaming that. I think next week is when that starts up. And so there's a lot of giving in the hearts of the community and a lot of just good people. And the thing that I love is that no one is going to fault you if you cannot give monetarily to something. A lot of it is just also getting the word out, creating awareness. Mm-hmm. And that is another thing our community does very, very well. So good on you. Keep it up. Keep being you. Keep being awesome. And we should roll out.
Autobots. No? Wrong one?
I mean, that's what I was referencing, so good job.
Well, as always, thank you for your time. And until next time, remember, with wisdom we conquer, stand strong, stand tall, and keep exploring. With that, we'll begin to wrap the chat up. Thank you again to those over on Twitch for coming to spend your evening with us. If you'd like to join us for the live streaming of the episodes, please be sure to give us a follow over on twitch.tv/FocusFireChat. Links to all our episode archives can be found at www.thelorenetwork.com. Please be sure to email us at focusfirechat@gmail.com with any comments and or questions for the team concerning the podcast, and let us know how we're doing by giving us some feedback and a rating over on iTunes as well. So until next time, focus your fire and may your light shine bright.